Hi, this is Ed from Wright. Today we're going to talk about the ZXT bagging system. It also fits the ZXL. We came out with this bagging system about a year ago, and so now that it's been out for a while, I'm going to show you some things, how it fits up, how it works, and we're going to test run it over here in just a minute. So first off, on the front of the system here, we have our weight and hitch assembly. So this is the counterbalance for the back. It hooks onto the tube here, and then the bolts go through a backing plate, and it comes with the hitch receiver here. You can actually buy this hitch receiver separate, and it will bolt through and clamp against just about any tube on the front of a machine, but it's included in the bagger setup. Now right here we have a 72-inch 40-horse ZXT, and one thing about baggers is that so many of them were designed 5-10 years ago when we didn't have these really big high 30 to 40 horsepower engines. And so now that we have these engines, what I really wanted to do was make a bagging system that can take the grass that engine can cut. And so when I take the cover off here, you'll see that the drive here is just massive compared to most bagging systems. This pulley here is actually the standard double pulley from the center of the deck, and which is about an inch bigger than most other brands. We have big pulleys because we like the belts to have lower tension and more torque on the drives. It helps the belts last a lot longer. But for the bagging system, so many of these pulleys are like 3 or 3.5 inches around, and they have little A-section belts. But here we have a large section belt driving the blower system, which is transmitting all that power we need to run the system. This bagger here will, if you're cutting about 8-inch deep spring grass and you go 12 miles an hour, this blower will take all the grass that the deck can give it, which is pretty phenomenal. Now, cutting in those conditions at that speed is not going to leave the best cut. But my point here is that this bagging system is really moving a whole lot of air. So let me show you how you take it off. This clip here, what we're doing here is this clamps on to the band of the tube. This is very easy to use when you have gloves. It's not fidgety. And either end of the tube fits to either end of the system. So you pop that off. You pull out this pin here, and you tilt the blower up. Belt pops right off, and then this comes off just like our gobblers. Sits on the standard bracket here, and with the kit comes this plate right here. This plate here has a diverter baffle here, helps the blower system work better, and the pin is what holds the blower stable when the belt tension is on it. Now, while we're here, I'll mention that the belt, the pulley, and the deck cover are all, and the bracket here, they're all part of a supplement kit. So when you buy one of these bagging systems, the main system is the whole bagging assembly and the blower, and there's a small supplement kit for a 52, there's one for a 61, and one for a 72-inch deck that includes these smaller parts. In terms of putting the kit together, the main things you do is you take this pulley off and you replace it with the big pulley. You install this bracket here, and you install 2 bolts in the back. You install the backing plate and struts for the bag on the back. So really it's pretty easy to install on the machine. Let's take a look at the inside of the blower here. Let me start with the drive end. So here you can see the pulley that drives it. It's all heavy duty construction. We have a heavy duty idler arm with bearings, a metal pulley. The boot here is made out of metal. So many of these are plastic and they wear out quickly, or you hit something and they get damaged. But this is 2 layers of metal here, very abrasion resistant. Now, coming around to this side of it here, you can see the fan assembly is pretty heavy duty. We actually made a change with this in the first year. We had some issues with the fan either riding up or down between the bearings, and we now have these little ribs here which set the fan's height inside the blower there. But the great thing about this style of blower here is that as the grass comes up, this is boosting the grass. Whereas a blower that turns horizontally like this, vertically, it's actually using the engine's power to change the direction of grass coming out to pushing it back. And so these are much more effective at maintaining that flow. All heavy duty construction there. So that's the blower assembly. Let's go to the back of the machine here. Same type of clip here. We use a clear hose because you can see inside of it what's going on. Both ends of the hose are the same. Also, these hoses store really easily. This hose can just go inside the bag there, where some of these systems with a molded tube, there's nowhere to store that assembly. It's just kind of hanging off the side of the machine And for those of you that are bagging seasonally, that's kind of a pain. So that comes off real easily. Now the back here, this is a metal system, makes it very serviceable, very heavy duty. And we'll talk about the airflow first here. So this baffle right here, it controls where the grass is going to go between the different bags. Heavier material, light material, it fills slightly differently, but overall, across the conditions, it fills very evenly. And then inside here, there's perforated steel. And this is the kind of steel where when it's on the top of something, the grass doesn't stick to it. It falls off of it as it goes. And then just closes like that. There's no latches or secondary things you have to do to close this system up. Now, I'm going to show you how you take the system off. If there's a property you don't need it or you need to take it off for a couple days, I'll show you how it comes off. If you see over here, we've got these pins. Take this one off first. And then one person can easily drop the bag, and you see the way that hooks in there. It's very easy to line it and then just tilt it right back up. Now, this back system here, you can see it's mounted to the bumper with these two bolts here, and then there's this diagonal strut for stability. This is pretty compact and out of the way if you want to leave it on there all year, but if you want to take it off, it's really just 4 bolts. It's very easy to take that setup on and off the machine. So overall, that's the bagging system and how it works. Again, it fits up to the ZXL almost identically. And what I'm going to do now is we have a little test area here, and I'm going to show you just some footage of it running. See, we did a quick shot here of about 15 by 15 foot area of a complete bagger full, so it's a pretty dense pile of stuff. And if you got any questions about how the bagging system, we'd love to hear from you. Put them in the comments. We'll answer any questions that you have. If you're looking for one of these systems, be sure to let your dealer know so they can bring it into stock if they don't already have it there, and let them know that you're interested in a bagger. One thing about bagging systems is that oftentimes a lot of people want them all at the same point in time in the fall, so plan ahead with your purchases. And as always, let us know if you got any questions. Hope you have a great winter.